okay, Shaikh. It ain't gonna hurt nothing if I get part of you. Thank you.
No, I went to Raleigh. Yeah. It's nice. That was my first time. Yeah, first time in Delaware, man. I'm really a hermit. I don't even know. The only place that you see me go is where you see me go. Otherwise, I'm home. I don't be, jumping around. Half the stuff out there ain't good anymore. Okay. I'm sorry. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Everybody doing good? All right, are we working?
No.
All right. So, all right. So everybody, some people have been asking about what to do for Muharram. Okay, and it's become an issue. Islam is very simple. Take your hands up to nothing. Nothing that Allah has commanded us to do. Come close. Come over here. I want to see the young people. Stand up. Stand up. Come sit over here. No, young man. You're going the long way. Come this way. There you go. Sit down like that. Excellent. MashaAllah. Make that man back there work. No, alhamdulillah. I want to say this. Allah has commanded us to pray how many times a day? 5. That's it. We're talking about minimum. Okay? Can you argue about doing any other salah?
No.
There is one salah where it's like, hey, you are promoted very strongly to offer that salah. What salah is that? With the salah. Okay? Meaning getting up at nighttime. Qiyam al-layl. Okay? The ulama are like at the verge, teetering to say that it's wajib. Okay? And some of our shuyukh, they say if you're in Ahlul Quran, that you have to do it. But they don't say that it's wajib. But there is nothing between saying you have to do it unless it's wajib. You guys get my point?
Yes.
So everybody's like right at the door of pushing and saying, no, you gotta do it. That's a strong word. Name some sunnah that everybody says, well, you gotta do it, but it's not hard. It's not problem. Name it.
2 rakat before Fajr.
2 rakat before Fajr. Highly promoted. If you don't do it, are you sinning? No. You're just leaving off what is preferred. That's the language of Imam Shafi. I'm not saying it to say, oh, that's my language, but I'm saying it's not something I invented. You get my point? I came up with. This is what the people used to hold with regards to certain issues. Now, how many times a year should you fast? You have to fast. Notice I said, should you fast?
1 month.
1 month. What is that month?
Ramadan.
The month of Ramadan. Okay? If I do not fast any other time, am I sinning?
No.
Okay? No. We got scared. No. Am I a bad Muslim? No. You get the point? These are the things that are wajib, that you should do. There should be no beef about anything else. There should be no shaming or clicking on anything else. And we have to stop allowing ourselves to get pulled into this juvenile high school thing. What you doing? What you like? It's It's a social event. No, it's ibadah. If a person wants to fast the 10th of Muharram, alhamdulillah, have at it. It's recommended. Highly recommended. Should you do it? That's the wrong word. Should denotes wajib. Do you guys get my point? It's recommended that you do it. Follow me, everybody?
Yes.
Do you have to broadcast that you're doing it?
No.
No. In fact, you should not broadcast that you're doing it. Because it's nobody's business. Number one. It's nobody's business. Now, we run into this other problem that really destroys the nature of holiday or the holiday spirit, the festive spirit of Islam. Everybody knows it crushes every Eid. Which day is which day? Right? Is it the 9th? Is it the 10th? Which day is the 10th of Muharram? I don't care what nobody says. Whatever I think the 10th is Muharram, that's when I'm going to fast. If I wanted to fast that day. You get my point? It's not, let's say, Shaikh Nazir says, well, tomorrow is the 10th, and yesterday was the 10th. So what? Do I have to argue with him? No, is it a debate? I'm asking a serious question.
No, it's not a debate.
And then we need to understand that. Because sometimes we know the date is off a day here or there, and it's always a thing of hissiya. You know, you're trying to weigh and figure it out. The only time we can't argue about it is when it's the Eid al-Adha. Why?
Because it's determined from the Hajj.
It's determined from Mecca, from Arafat. Yom al-Arafat is at Arafat. So when they say it's Arafat, it's Arafat. That's it. No argument, debate about it. Any other time, it depends on what you see. That's where you have to see the moon and those things like that. Yeah, you may be off a little bit. وَاتَّقُوا Mastata'tum. Don't whisper. You fear Allah as much as you can, according to your best of your abilities. Does everybody follow? We got to one of our problems. It seems like we're having a maturity problem with regards to how we apply our deen. And we need everybody's opinion. This is not a democracy. It's not a democracy. It is not what do they call it? What is it like whoever famous, I forget the term they use. Popularity. You know, oh, well, so-and-so, this guy. No, man, we're not shopping. Whoever you trust. And that trust has to be based on, that trust must be based on your trust of that person's knowledge. Okay? Now, we have the issue of, scholars in your area. They should be the ones that you go to. That's my stance. Okay? For most of these things, because they know what's going on where you're at. You get my point? That's like a doctor saying, I'm going to tell you what to do, and I don't even see the body, but the other doctor sees the body. Who are you going to take his opinion? The one who sees it. Because he knows and he sees things that the other one doesn't see and can take into consideration. Everybody follow me? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Oh, just on a technical point, the other issue comes in, should you fast 3 days? Should you fast the 9th, the 10th, the 11th? Should you fast the 10th only? Should you fast the 9th and the 10th? Should you fast the 11th and the 10th? These things like that. Who cares? The sunnah is that in general, you can fast in Muharram. Okay? Everybody get that? So what does that mean? If in general it is recommended to fast in Muharram, you can fast whatever day you want to in Muharram. Whether it's all 3, whether it's all month, whether it's anything. Whether it's 1, 2, 3, or whatever. It's recommended to fast in Muharram. It's sunnah. Does everybody follow me? So do what you like. No one can say, oh, well, you can't do this. Nah, I ain't like that.
The 6 days of Shawwal.
We're not in Shawwal, yeah. I don't want to talk about Shawwal. Because then that's going to take the whole 10 hours.
Any 6 days of the year will take.
طبعا ولكن نحن الآن في محرم إذا ذهبنا إلى شوال يخلق على الناس. Any days. Okay, the issue is now, what about Saturday? Should you fast Saturday? You can fast Saturday if it's in Muharram, okay, and you want to fast. Okay? It's not because you're sticking up. Maybe that's the only day of the week you can get to fast because you're working and your work causes you to be tired so you can't fast during that time. So now you're saying you can't fast that? No. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Fear Allah as much as you can. Allah knows your circumstances and situations. Okay? Allah knows. Now, of course, this is not something we're going to say, oh, we're promoting this day. Everybody's circumstances and situations are different. I know guys who work at nighttime on their feet. Okay? So it's difficult for them. The only day off they get maybe is Friday and Saturday or something like that. They can't fast? You know? No, it's not like that. Everybody's particular. But what I tell you about fiqh, what type of brush do you use in fiqh? Broad. No. Not in fiqh. You don't use a broad brush. You use a very thin.
You don't paint with a broad.
Right. You don't paint with a broad brush in fiqh. Fiqh is your personal circumstance. Fiqh is what we call tact and diplomacy. What a person with your circumstances has to do from a person, like let's say for example, the issue of marriage. Okay? How much is the dowry? The dowry is based on what is normal, what is expected from a man like you in your society, from a woman like her in your society or in her society. You get my point? So if we're in Durham, right, and you are a business owner, right, and your wife is this educated woman, college graduate, you know, egghead, you know, no offense, but I meant that in a good way, you know. What is smart lady? Okay, no, because you know
that's what it means.
The worth is her ability to advise.
Right.
Okay, she's you know, economics was based on home economics, meaning national economics was based on home economics, getting a certain amount of money and having to stretch it to an unknown period, and right there, making it last and making it look good at that, right? So all this, you need a smart woman. They say in the Sharia, you get a woman, a sun-worshiping woman, you're going to get a sun-worshiping child, no matter what the man is. You get my point? They spend more time with them. That's why it's called the mother tongue. You get my point, guys? So you got this guy, he's this businessman, this woman, she's educated, you know, in this particular way, knows her deen. That's what's normal for those two type of individuals. You get my point? There's a standard that she can't go below. There's a standard she cannot go below. You get my point? That's the norm. And there's a standard that you have to at least meet. That's fiqh. Now you take that same two individuals and you move them to New York, you're going to get a different answer. You get my point? Same two individuals who move them to Cali, you're going to get a different order. It's all the United States. But because of the geographic location, the fiqh changes. And that's what we have to understand. If that's the case here, right, in the USA, what about elsewhere, where the culture is even more different? You follow me, guys? Yes. And that's what you have to respect about yourself. Man lam yukarrim nafsahu, lam yukarrim. Zuhair ibn Abi Sulma said in his famous poetry, they call it Mu'allaqat al-Sab'a, the ones they used to put onto the Kaaba. They didn't actually put it on the Kaaba. It's just saying that's how great they were. You know, that everybody would love these poems that precede Islam. He said, whoever does not honor himself, okay, no one can respect him. No one will ever respect him. Whoever doesn't have honor for himself, man, you gotta me. It's never gonna get any respect. Can we deal with that? Can we relate with that?
Yes.
Because we keep looking elsewhere. Okay? And then wonder why nobody don't respect you. You know, if the man, he's giving the same line of poetry, he says, whoever doesn't defend his house, doesn't defend his watering hole, yeah, the people are going to destroy it, kick dirt in it and all that stuff, mess it up. And then if he defends it, they're gonna blame him for defending it. Which one you gonna do? Defend it. Let them blame it. Keep stepping. Kick rocks over there. You get myself? Keep moving. Because you got to drink from that hole. You get my point? So you're not gonna win with a popularity contest. And you shouldn't be trying to. Because the only one you're trying to please is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He knows all the situation. You get my point? When it says, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. And it's not because those people are stupid. It's because they don't know the whole deal. Right? They don't know what's really going on. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so this is what, if you can bear that, and then that's what you do by defending your house. Okay? Somebody gonna say, oh man, what a volume he is. He not letting us drink the water. Well, if I let you drink the water, y'all gonna destroy my thing because y'all don't have respect for my property. So I got it, then I'm gonna be messed up. They say, what a fool, he let those people destroy his thing. Come on, man. I don't care what you say. I gotta do what's right for me. And that's what you have to realize. Okay? And you can't do that as an individual. That's the other thing. Cannot do it as an individual. Have to do it as a community. Individual success dies with that individual. Where communal, success lives the life of that community. The determination of a slave, there was 3 determinations. One of them, a seasoned slave. Anybody know when they put in the psychology with the seasoned slave? One of the determinations was when his personal safety and comfort is greater than that for the group. He cares more about his personal safety and comfort than he does that of the personal safety and comfort of the Jama'ah. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's democracy in a nutshell. Me, my rights. I can do whatever. What does Islam say? Islam says the exact opposite. It trains you not to be a slave to anything but Allah. The rights of the group greatly outweighs the rights of the individual. That's Islam. You get myself? So that's this freedom where you're in ubudiyya to your own self and to the society. Where here, true ubudiyya is that you're only settling to Allah, meaning you're being subservient to Allah, and you're giving all yourself for the creation of Allah. To make sure that goes, and we have to get there. That's where we have to go, where we're giving. Why are you ready to give? Because you know that by my giving, this will preserve, this will last. Islam has come to serve, protect, prioritize. So this is why ultimately jihad comes in. Okay? Because the only way sometimes you have to do that is by defending it. You get my point? But where's jihad? People will go, all the young guys, my name is jihad, I want to be mujahid. No, jihad is the last chapter in fiqh. Why is it the last chapter of fiqh? By design. Why? And even though it's called the 6th pillar of Islam.
Because it shouldn't be the first thing that we go to.
Why?
Because there's other means of doing it.
No, that's not because there's other means of doing it.
You need to know why and how to make jihad.
Okay,
there are other priorities.
Hold on 1 second. Get, sir.
It's a big commitment. It's the biggest commitment.
That's not the reason why, though. Yes, you're correct. Yes, sir.
Because we need to know how and why we're making jihad.
That's right there. That's the main thing right there. What were you going to say?
I was going to say we have to learn other priorities before we get to
That's true, too.
Build your ummah first.
That's it. These two are the most closest to. What are you defending? If you start off with jihad, what are you defending? The society hasn't been established, right? And the society can't be established first until you go through all those other chapters of fiqh. You guys get myself? Because that are the pillars and all the whole things of the society. Once they...
What were the 2 things? I couldn't hear.
Okay, the one was, say it again.
We have to know why and what we are defending.
Why and what we are defending. The question is, why is jihad, physical jihad we're talking about? We're going to call it violent jihad, as the proper term is. And people should not be afraid of this term. The term violent jihad does not denote terrorism. And that's under federal law. Because in the federal statutes, there is a term called terrorism. And it has a description. And violent jihad does not meet that description. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So we should, knowing your rights. Like you see some of these white guys that carry guns out and they put the thing, well, Second Amendment and stuff like that. Now we know racism exists in America. You can't do that being brown. For most places, if you brown and you got a thing right here, they're going to shoot you, say, I didn't see it. Right or wrong? Okay, so we know that exists. But why do they do it? Because they know the law. And they understand the law. You have to know the laws, what you're talking about, in order for you to be able to be comfortable and be able to apply it. Now, if you can't apply it, then you need to leave the country. Because the definition of one of the reasons for making, hijrah, is that you cannot establish your deen safely. You get my point? And so we start being honest about those things, then we start getting uncomfortable. Well, I don't really want to leave. You get my point? So, his statement, and what was your statement again?
You have to build your ummah.
You have to build your ummah first. Now, to build the ummah, you need to go through those chapters and establishing what are you establishing? First, your relationship between you and Allah, right? Then your relationship with your business, because business builds community. You cannot, there is no romance without finance, period. And romance leads to family. Get my point? So you need to have that. What was the Ottoman Empire built on? What business? Two businesses, two major businesses. What were they making? Textiles, rugs, and draperies. They conquered the world doing rugs and draperies and goats, selling their goats. That was their main business. You gotta have a business. I remember back in the early 80s, I remember listening to, back in days, Warith Muhammad, rahimahullah, used to have like a TV program that came on. It was like on the weekends or something like that. I don't know if it was weekly or monthly or something like that. And then as he was talking, we were kids, we were all forced to sit there, you know, because those things were long, you know. And he said in there, it always stuck with me, he says that even the Prophet Muhammad recognized that the community will only go as far as its economics will take it. Okay? So you hear that? So I thought about that. Is that correct? Well, I didn't know anything at the time. And as time goes on, you think about what you've heard, and is it true? And it's true. When did the Ummah of Muhammad become an Ummah? When? No, when they moved to Medina.
Yeah.
When they moved to Medina. When did it become that they had to defend themselves? When they moved to Medina. The Shahada in Mecca was called what? Shahadatun Nisa. Smart lady. Give her, you know you can get more on your dowry every year? Did you know that, ladies? That's the origin of anniversary, the anniversary gift. Was that the woman at the end of her anniversary would say, listen, brother, you know, I put in a little extra work.
Stop talking. No.
I learned this from Shaikh back in the days. You know, she can renegotiate. Say, listen, I put in a little extra work here and I had some big head children. Might want to a little bit extra, give me a bonus or something like that. But whatever he gives her, that counts as her dowry, more. You know what I'm saying? That ups the dowry, inshallah. Oh, what'd you say? You was going to do that? I didn't hear that. Okay. No, what was I saying? Okay, Shahadatun Nisa is what they called the Shahada in Mecca. Why did they call it Shahadatun Nisa? Sorry? Because women are not obliged to fight. Never. They're not obliged to fight. So the men who took the Shahada in Mecca, they had to take the Shahada of Nisa, so there wouldn't be any terrorism. You get my point? So there wouldn't be any violence. You had to be patient with the dhulm that you were going through. And if you couldn't take it, what were you told to do? Pack your trash and go.
Right.
Make hijrah. Go to Abyssinia. You guys get my point?
Yeah.
Same thing here for any of the kuffar who are watching and trying to say anything about that. We are in the United States. I don't say New York, you know, but we're in the United States. And so our shahada is the shahada of Nisa. Why? Because we're not in an Islamic state. You get my point? So either we grin and bear it or we leave. We don't have the option to fight physical here. You guys get my point? Why though? Goes back to the economics. It goes back to the establishment of those 37 titles before you get to the 38th one. You guys get my point? There hasn't been establishment of a community. There hasn't been establishment of an ummah. All those chapters haven't been laid out yet. You guys get my point? Once those chapters are laid out and applied, now you have to defend them. You get my point? Yeah. And that's when it becomes that other aspect of Islam comes. So we can't put the cart before the horses and expect to go forward. We have to put what comes first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way down the line. And we're not going to be able to do that being immature. Okay? Wrangling over foolish issues. Okay? Not focusing on establishing the character and the morality and the trustfulness and the sincerity of the believer. Okay? And then doing things that are applicable for the deen. As opposed to lip service and clothing. the ephemeral, the accoutrements, you know. A lot of guys in the teams, not in the teams, but in the service in general, everybody wants to put things on their chest, right? It shows that you rate. Look, I've been through. But a lot of guys want to put it on without doing the work that it takes to get them. They want to go buy the medal, okay, and put it on. And a lot of guys, I remember in the Marine Corps, guys were going to boot camp, they had tattoos of their Marines. You ain't even in the Marine Corps yet. He already went and got the tattoo. That's what I'm talking about. We want to, see that type of thing. We don't want to be like that. We want to do the route and live the life. You know, walk that walk before we talk that talk, as they used to say. Everybody follow me? Yes. All right. Now let's get started. Did everybody memorize if? Yes. I don't want to hear try. Leave try in Syria. Umar ibn Khattab said, leave try in Syria and do it inshallah. What does that mean when you say, I'm going to do it inshallah? What's the ramifications when you hear that? I'm going to do it inshallah. What does it mean? Tell me. Commitment. Who are you declaring this commitment to?
To Allah.
To Allah. By you saying, because words have influence, by you saying, I'm going to do this, inshallah, you are saying the only way I'm not going to do this is if Allah stops me. Isn't that a powerful statement? But now that's saying now when you don't get it done, can you honestly say you did everything within your ability to get it done and Allah stopped you from getting it done? So most of us can't say that because most of us know that even though we said it, we didn't do it. When sometimes when we put try in there, we opened up the back door. We've already opened up a way for us to make an excuse, because then what's the first thing we said? When we didn't, well, I only said I was going to try. I said I was going to try. You know? So the excuse is that I said I was going to try. So what can you say if you say I'm going to do it inshallah? You say I said inshallah, so Allah stopped you? Meaning you did everything you were supposed to do, and it's only by the will of Allah that it didn't happen? We know we can't say that, and that's why we go away from saying, I'm going to do it, inshallah. So, I want you guys to commit. That's a level of commitment. We cannot grow unless we commit. And the commitment has to be momentary, meaning moment to moment. Some people think, oh, it's day by day. No, it's moment to moment. Okay? One moment, you're a believer. Next moment, you could be a disbeliever. It happens that quick. So we have to always renew our intention at this moment to do it right now. Does everybody follow me? Yes. Inshallah ta'ala. It's 4 paragraphs. Very simple paragraphs. We need to work on that, because if we can start doing it, it's like making the bed. What happens? You get out in the morning, you make the bed. So you accomplish the little things. And we start building on that. But if you don't try, and only you know if you really try, then you're not even committing, and you know you're not committed. So who are we kidding? If we can't do that, what great thing can we commit to? If we can't even memorize 4 paragraphs of poetry in 3 weeks, you know, what are we going to accomplish? You guys get my point? So we got to get up, man, and live. You know, and really and commit to doing the things, no matter what age we are or anything. I remember one time I was talking to my father, and he said, oh, yeah, I was talking to Aunt Theodora. And I was like, now, I was about, maybe I was 40 years old. I said, oh man, who's Aunt Theodora? Never heard of her. He said, oh, that's your Aunt Candy. I said, Aunt Candy, her name is Theodora? I thought it was like Candace or something like that. We always called her Aunt Candy. He said, nah, we've been calling her Candy her whole life. She hated it. I said, what's that? Well, when she was small, she always wanted candy, so we started calling her Candy. Right? She always hated it, and it's been fine, and she yelled at us and told us she wanted us to stop calling her. My father's almost 80. Okay? I said, now he says, well, you got to grow up sometimes. Okay? And so he stopped calling her, Candy. That didn't last long. It only lasted about a year or so. after a while when we saw her, she was like, no, don't call me no Theodora. You sound like a boy. Call me Candy. She got used to it, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, we got to grow up, man. We got to grow up, and we have to change. See, people are afraid of change, okay? They're afraid. They're afraid it's going to cost them too much. You know, and it's not because things are difficult that people don't try. It's because people don't try that things are difficult. Really. So we have to get over this fear of the unknown end. What are you going to lose? By opening up your mouth and committing. Okay? Every day should be a day of renewal. Everybody's waiting for something else to happen. Stop waiting. How many of us have, I know, and I tease all the time, but these things change. I know I'm always going through the stuff in my house. Anybody who's visited me, see, I'm still going through things in my house. My house is looking a lot better now over in that corner. I finished one corner of my bookshelf and everything like that. And I should be done. Visit again in another week, and I'll be having all the paperwork that I have done. But what I'm always doing is looking at what I have and what I don't need. Okay? Because I read books every week, I have a big pile of books that I've read, and now I got to get rid of them. But sometimes you forget. So then I'm always thinking, where am I going to die? Am I going to leave all this for my wife to figure out? You know? What am I doing here? Why am I thinking not me when I know it's me too? It's going to happen to me too. And the best of those who do it now, prepare now. I went to Shaikh Abdullah Muhammad Al-Amin Al-Shinqiti's house, Hafidhullah. Now he is the son of Muhammad Al-Amin, who wrote that great book, Adwa al-Bayan fi Tafseer al-Quran bil-Quran. Explanation of the Quran using the Quran. Okay? That's his son. Now I was visiting him. We have the same sheikh. And I went to not his basement, but his first floor, and we're looking at his library. I want to see your library. He has one wall of books, maybe from here to here. For a sheikh, someone who's been a sheikh his whole life, okay, from his father being a sheikh, that is a very few books. I started to look at the books. He has explanation of Sahih, the 6 books of the Sunan, and Al-Muwatta, you know, Ad-Darimi, and the Musnad Ahmed, and that's about it. Then he has a couple of explanations of some books of Tafseer, you know, and then one dictionary, okay, one dictionary, all right, and a few other books there on issues. I said, SubhanAllah, you know, you ain't got a whole bunch of books. He said, well, all the other books are based on these books. Every book that people are writing now, or they're quoting back to these books, right? So I really don't need to, you know, read all that stuff as long as I got these right here, like that. Does that make sense? And I started looking at my library like I was sinning, you know, with so many different books, you know. And I still look at it that way. If you've read it and you're not planning on reading it again, okay, what are you using it for? What is it? Unless it's a reference book, which means you're planning on using it again. Does everybody follow me? We have to, and I'm saying that not just for myself, okay? I'm saying that, and I'm involved in that too, to do it, to make sure, and I'm working on that as myself, but I'm saying that because every time I get rid of some stuff, I feel lighter, okay? When I get that drawer cleaned again, you know, because it piles up again, you know, I found some matches in here that I don't know why I was keeping the matches, because right next to it is one of those things, the clickers, that makes a fire. You know, you're keeping stuff. Every time I get rid of that trash, I feel better. I feel lighter. I can think better. I feel more alive, and I want to share that with you. You know, get rid of all your junk. When I say junk, I'm not saying give your junk to other people, but get rid of the stuff that you're not planning on using the rest of your life. And then at least look at it and think about it. Does that make sense, everybody? All right, let's get it done. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. We're in Surah Furqan, the last part of it. We're going to go through this, inshallah, pretty quick. What time is it? 7:04. All right, we're going to make it, inshallah ta'ala. A'udhu billah.
You do know there's a clock above your head behind
No,
you.
I don't know that, and I don't trust them turning around now. No, I didn't know that all this time. See, because I'm facing this way. So you guys let me know, okay? I never knew that. You know, alhamdulillah. I'll be looking over there. Sometimes you see me go like this. I'm looking, trying to see the going all the way over there. All right. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. The surah part that we want to start with, it begins with Ibadur Rahman alladhina yamshuna ala al-ardi hawna. Ibadur Rahman. The word ibad is the plural of abd. What is it the plural of? A slave. And everybody's a slave of Allah, right? So there's two types of slaves. Those are qahari, were those who have come through it on their own, okay? Who decided to be the slaves. Allah's messengers Allah is talking about here those who have voluntarily become the slaves of Allah. Does that make sense? Because everybody comes to Allah abdan, submitting. So he's not talking about that. Even if you don't find it, don't worry about it. I'm going to go through everything, okay? Inshallah. Then he said, the most famous name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he loves the most is Abdullah and Abdur Rahman. The word Ar-Rahman is the only name of Allah that we know of that ends with an. How does it end? An. It's the only name of Allah that we know that ends with an. You know another one? So that makes it, So that makes it a very unique name, does it not? So what does the an mean when it's at the end of a word? And at the end of a word means the fullest extent of that thing. If I'm hungry, what do they call it? Jo'an. Because I'm totally engrossed with it. As a man, we can't think of anything when we're hungry, can we? We're just hungry. We can get angry and be called ghadban, right? We're fully involved in that. Women get sick if they get too hungry, physically. Does that make sense? So here, kaslan, the fullest extent of these things. So he is Ar-Rahman, meaning wasi'. His mercy is fully and encompasses everybody. You get it? The believer and the non-believer. That's why he is Ar-Rahman. So, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ. So it says, الَّذِينَ, those who. So he's going to describe who are the true slaves of Allah. The true slaves of Ar-Rahman. What do we do with this? What we're supposed to do with this is نَتَخَلَّقْ بِهَا. We're supposed to take this as our description on how we're supposed to act. And for this reason, we use these ayat as the adab, the usul, the fundamental adab of the talabul ilm, and not just the talabul ilm, the human in his own existence, the ibadur rahman, whether he's a talabul ilm or not. And everyone should be a talabul ilm. Get my point? To some level. The Prophet ﷺ said, talabul ilm faridatun ala kulli muslimin wa muslimah. Right? It's seeking knowledge and application on every man and woman. So then he says, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. We already said that hawnan means what?
Humility.
Without any arrogance. He's not has any kibr in himself. And we mentioned some stories about some of those people. وَالَّذِينَ يَبِيتُ. Sorry. وَالَّذِينَ وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And those people who, when somebody ignorant starts to talk to them, what do they say?
Peace.
Peace. Peace. Right? Not deuces, man, whatever. Nah, it's peace. Because you're not trying to be, you're genuinely saying peace. There has to be some sincerity in there. Okay? Where you're avoiding foolishness. Why? Because he doesn't have any arrogance. Since he doesn't have any arrogance, he ain't got nothing to prove. As long as you're not attacking me, I'm good. Does everybody follow that? Now I'm not. Let me hear something. No. Okay. Now I'm yes. That's okay. وَالَّذِينَ يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ سُجَّدًا وَقِيَامًا. So these people, they spend their night. Now what we're supposed to learn here is not only, a thing is made clear by its what?
Opposite.
Come on, stop whispering to me, guys.
Opposite.
Louder. You want to get better so the people that on the internet can hear you, so they can get benefit from it? Say it loud.
Opposite.
A thing is made clear by its what?
Opposite.
So now everybody that hears that, you're going to get better from that. And every time they learn that. So Allah says, وَالَّذِينَ يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ. So they spend their night and they dedicate their night to their Lord. What does that mean? The opposite of the night is what?
Day.
So that means the day is yours. Do you understand that? So that's what we said. فَسَعَوْا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Then you rush through the earth looking for the Fadlullah during the daytime. Just like that. So right before Fajr, We call suhoor time. You should be ready for the day before time, right? When you want to get here for class, you're here before the time the class starts. Is that not correct?
No, that's right.
Okay, so likewise, if you got the day for yourself, you get started before the sun comes up. That's why we have Fajr. You get my point, guys? And if you want to make Fajr, you got to get ready before the Fajr. So you can be there when it starts to go. All right? And then you work, and you work that whole day. If you can fill the unforgiven of 60 seconds worth of distance run, if you can fill that day, that unforgiven day, every minute and moment of it, doing and accomplishing those 3 things you meant to accomplish that day, then yours is the world and everything within it. You got everything. The Prophet ﷺ said if you got enough food for the night and you got a safe place to stay, you got everything the world got for you, right? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Isn't that the same thing Rudyard Kipling is saying?
Yes.
Yours is the world and everything within it. Okay? And which is more, you have character, you have rujuliyah, you have muru'ah. You have it so you can hold your head up. وَالَّذِينَ يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ سُجَّدًا وَقِيَامًا. And so what's the ruling on talking to anybody besides your spouse after Isha? Makruh. It's disgusting. You should stay away from doing it. The exception is if you're learning, if there's a class that extended over that, or your parents call you, or you have to tell your children something. Exceptions. Not every day is there an exception. Not every moment is exception. Your man calls you, your homegirl calls you, that ain't important. Unless it's unusual and you think it's your neighbor or something like that, and you may need to help them do something. The house is burning, you really fear that. Otherwise, don't answer. They will get into the habit of knowing, oh, it's after Isha. They're not going to answer the phone. There used to be hours that people would call you. Right? Didn't we grow up like that?
Yeah.
What they calling this time of night? It better be an emergency. And you hoping it ain't one of your friends. He broke out laughing. Flashback.
Because you can hear your father.
That's right. Yeah, sure. That's right. But that's good. Because that teaches you time management. Allah's Messenger said, Sa'atan for sa'a. There's a time for this and there's a time for that. And if we do things in their proper time, then we're on the fitrah. Lights at nighttime. I didn't realize how much of a fitna they were till I came back to the United States. In Mauritania, they don't have this. Okay? When it gets dark, it's dark. And that gives you a compelling reason to go to sleep. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And you get used to that. I remember one time sitting in Mauritania saying, man, me and my wife was sitting outside and it was real dark. We was like, man, it's just relaxing, just chilling, watching the stars and everything. And we said, what time do you think it is? And so we went and found a watch. Because you don't need a watch, you know? We went and found in the bag, man, it's 9 o'clock. You know? It was only 9 o'clock at night here. But over there, 9 o'clock at night, it's been dark for a while now. You know what I'm saying? And we've been enjoying the nighttime. And it's natural and it's less stress. You get my point, guys? Only difference is that when the full moon, then you go walking at night. Because you got some, you know. But with these out here, you lose the sense that it's nighttime. I remember being in Seattle and being in Alaska. It doesn't get dark. Okay? I'm like, man, you start feeling low. Then I'm looking at the top, it's 11 o'clock. And you're like, man, it looks like Maghrib. It looks like it's about to be Maghrib. You get my point? And you got all this energy because sun hasn't really set because you're that high in the hemisphere. Difficult. When they fast, they fast. Okay? Because it's a long day for them. Alhamdulillah. Let's go on. What's the next line? وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا اصْرِفْ عَنَّا عَذَابَ جَهَنَّمَ إِنَّ عَذَابَهَا كَانَ غَرَامًا إِنَّهَا سَاءَتْ مُسْتَقَرًّا وَمُقَامًا. So it says here, and those who pray, who make this dua, رَبَّنَا اصْرِفْ عَنَّا عَذَابَ our Lord, Rabbana, take away from us the punishment of Jahannam. They're asking for that, right? Have they seen it?
No.
So then what if they had seen it? This is what Allah says, bragging about them. What if they have seen it? He asked the angels. How much more they would seek refuge from it. Inna adhabaha kana gharama. It's a type of debt I can never pay. I can't take that. This is called i'tiraf. They're acknowledging their da'f, their weakness, their inability to do that. Have they been in it?
No.
So they're doing it based on their iman. Does that make sense? Iman in what?
Right.
Al-ghayb. Isn't that the first thing you've been taught to in the Quran? Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. The first thing we've been told to believe in al-ghayb. Okay, so we're showing their belief by declaring and declaring, hey, I can't take this. إِنَّهَا سَاءَتْ مُسْتَقَرًّا سَاءَتْ مُسْتَقَرًّا وَمُقَامًا. It's an easy place to get stuck in and to have to stay in there. So this acknowledgement is said that the kuffar, when they see Jahannam, they're going to say that. When they see it. Is that iman? No. So we get credit for doing it now. You get my point? It's easy to say it once you see it. But the belief, the iman came when you said it with sincerity here in this dunya. May Allah make us say this dua with sincerity. Ameen. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَنْفَقُوا لَمْ يُسْرِفُوا وَلَمْ يُقْتِرُوا وَكَانَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ قَوَامًا. Those people, when they spend their money, وَالَّذِينَ لَمْ يُسْرِفُوا. What is sarafa here? It's wasting, right? What's the definition of yusrifu? The definition of yusrifu is that they take halal money and they spend it on something haram. وَالَّذِينَ يُسْرِفُوا. They spend their money doing something or paying for something haram. وَلَمْ يُقْتِرُوا. And they don't spend their money that يَمْنَعُونَ نُقُودُهُمْ عَلَى مَنْ يُضِيعُهُ يعني مَنْ تَحْتَهُمْ. Meaning they don't spend their money on those who they have to take care of. They're preventing it from going to those who they're supposed to take care of. Everybody follow me? Yeah. So this is very profound. Because a Muslim is spending his money doing something or spending his money on the haram, and the muqtir is being so stingy that he's preventing the money to be given to those who he's supposed to take care of. And Allah's Messenger said it's enough. It is enough sin for a man to waste the money of the people, of the ones he's supposed to be providing for. Like your parents, right? You're supposed to be providing for them and taking care of them. Even if they're kafirs, even if they don't like you. Okay? You're supposed to be provided for. You are the retirement plan. Okay? Hey, everybody seems to know this except the United States Americans. Even the so-called Latinos, Mexicans, we make fun of sometimes, all that, they're sending money home. Okay? They're sending money home. Religiously, dutifully. That's what they're supposed to do that. And we know our other brothers are here in the masajid. We know they're always sending money home. And we say to a fault because sometimes, sadly, the people that don't work, hey, my cousin's in America, I'm waiting. You know? That's their sin. Our obligation is to provide for our ancestors. Islam has come to preserve and protect my deen, my mind, my wealth, honor, heritage, self, my lineage, my parents. Right? I'm supposed to take care of them and provide for them in an honorable, dutiful fashion. Falal, piety is part of manhood. That's what it is. So, the next part. وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَدْعُونَ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَٰهًا آخَرَ وَلَا يَقْتُلُونَ النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا وَلَا يَزْنُونَ وَمَن يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ يَلْقَ. Okay, so here we say those who don't do these three major sins that everybody understands to be wrong. First, they don't make dua to anyone besides Allah, meaning they don't call on, they don't depend on anyone besides Allah. Okay? Vital in our society. Not dependent on the lottery, they're not dependent on the government, they're dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to provide for them. But they're just not sitting there with their hands in their pocket. They're making the ways, the means, taking through the asbab of getting things done. And then tawakkal Allah. As Allah's Messenger said, tie your camel and then trust in Allah. Just don't leave it open like that. Do your due diligence. The next one is, and they don't kill, they don't commit murder. Murder is haram anywhere you go in the world. Zina is haram anywhere you go in the world. So these three sins are agreed upon by Muslim and Kafir. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ يَلْقَى أَثَامًا. Whoever commits these sins, he's thrown into sin. He's committed a sin. يُضَعَفْ لَهُ الْعَذَابُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَيَخْلُدْ فِيهِ مُهَانًا. It will be multiplied. His sins will be multiplied. Why? Because he didn't repent from them. Okay? He didn't stop. He didn't care. He didn't reflect. Okay? He said, oh man, this guy, he never in his life said, Allahumma the verse says that he never said, oh Allah, forgive me. So this person, his sins will be multiplied for him on the day of standing. Why is it called the day of standing? Who likes standing on the line? Raise your hand. It's from the nature of man to hate standing on lines, isn't it? This kiraha. We see a line and we're like, ugh. You know, what do I have to pay to jump the line, right? We're willing to pay to skip the line because Allah has made us hate it to our core to want to have to stand on the line. And yet he calls Yawm al-Qiyamah. Everybody's going to be standing around, waiting. And just that alone is enough to make you disgusted. You're waiting for a whooping. What man? That's,
I was saying that was in the poem too. Wait,
not wise.
Wait. If you can wait and not be tired of waiting.
If you can wait, but see, that's the difference.
But I'm just
wait, but if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, means if you can strive, fall down, get up, and keep striving. If you can memorize, say, wait and not be tired of waiting, it's like memorizing the Quran. It's a marathon. It ain't for the rabbit. You memorize a page a day. It still takes 600 days. You get my point? Yes. The Quran teachers don't care that you got half the Quran. They don't care. I remember seeing one young man. His name was Mikhail. I think his name was Mikhail, young guy. He memorized like maybe 2-3 pages, and he was reciting to our Shaikh. And the Shaikh was like, okay. He said, man, you're not going to be happy till I finish the whole book. He said, you're right. I'm not going to be happy till you finish the whole book. You know how many people get 10 juz? How many people get half the Quran? How many people get so close and then they get distracted? You have to be patient. You got to be, meaning consistent and striving. Usually it only takes 8 months, right? It only takes about 8 months. But how many people dedicate 8 months to it? Who can give that 8 months? Because the thing about the Quran, it's not going to give you nothing of itself until you give it all of yourself. And you can't trick it. It's the speech of Allah, and it's not created. It don't stick with a sinful person. Or somebody taking it casual, I'll get to it when I get to it. No, it's gone. Quicker than a camel gets out of his knot. You guys get my point? Yeah. That's if you can wait and not be tired by waiting. Not get worn out by that process. Same thing here. If you can, you're learning in this school. What Taubah Hakim, he got tired of waiting for his teachers, right? So he gathered all the books he thought he should know when he tried to teach himself. That's what happens to a lot of us some of our best students. They run off and go teach themselves because they got tired of the process. They couldn't wait no more. They thought the teacher was holding them back. They thought they had a better curriculum in their head because they were too busy listening to something else and imagining that they were students of that Shaikh, and the Shaikh don't even know them. I tell students all the time, you're not a talib al-ilm unless you have a Shaikh. Because who you studying from? And that Shaikh got to know you personally. You get my point? So he knows what you learned from him. And he's telling you, good job, not good job, great job, don't do that again. You get my point? Yeah. He's got to tell you those things. Or then who are you a talib al-ilm for? In your head. Delusions. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
So, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, is if you can strive and stick to the process till its end. Focus. F-O-C-U-S. What does it mean? No. F-O-C-U-S. Follow one course until success. It's not rhetorical, brothers. It's not rhetorical. That's the route. We got to move it from the rhetoric to the plan, the mission statement, the reminder. So let's go on. يضاعف له العذاب يوم القيامة ويخلد فيه إلا من تاب وآمن وعمل عملا صالحا فأولئك يبدل الله سيئاتهم حسنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما. It says here, except the one who tab, he repents. Now, where we say, we drew the picture, right? It's the fathers to seek permission to get back in position, right? Right. Now he made Taubah and he's back in position. إِلَّا مَنْ تَابَ وَعَمَلَ وَآمَنَ وَعَمَلَ صَالِحًا. And he believes. He believes in what? بِالْغَيْبِ. In the reward. Right? Reasons reap what? Results. Your reasons reap results. Why are you doing this? Because you believe Allah is going to reward you for it. That's why you get up and pray. That's why you fast. That's why you do the things you do. Your reason. So he believes. وَعَمِلَ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. He just doesn't believe alone. People think, oh, I can believe it, I'm just going to do whatever I want to. No, a taqwa is shown in your body parts, in the actions, not just on your tongue. Anybody can say anything out their mouth. Isn't that what a munafiq is? No. He says whatever he wants to. And if you ain't looking, he does whatever he wants to. So it's not alone that Allah says that you believe. وَحَسْبُ. Rather, you have to believe وَعَمَلَ عَمَلًا. And you have to do an action that is righteous. Who determines that? What is a righteous deed? The road to Jahannam is paved with good intentions. We don't get to make up righteous deeds. Allah determines what a righteous deed. The word al-ibadah means for you and me all that Allah loved and is what? Pleased with. So ibadah is a comprehensive ismul jami'un likulli ma yuhibbuhu Allah wa yarda. Right? This is what Sunnah Musul. What is it? I just said اسم الجامع لكل ما يرضى الإله السامع وفي الكتاب اسم أول عبادة خوف توكل كذا رجاء. أنا أفكر في سلم والسول. It's a poem in Aqidah. He said it is اسم جامع لكل ما يرضى الإله السامع وفي الكتاب مخه عبادة خوف توكل كذا رجاء. Okay, so it's telling you that the word ibadah is a comprehensive word, okay, of everything Allah loves and is pleased with, okay? How do you know if Allah is loved and pleased with an action?
Because that action is in accordance with the Quran or something that was legislated.
Last part only. Say it again.
Something that was legislated.
What does legislated mean?
There's a proof for doing it.
That Allah commanded you to do it or His Messenger commanded you to do it. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's ibadah. You guys follow me? If Allah didn't tell it to you Himself in His book and His Messenger didn't tell it to you, then how do you know it's an act of ibadah? How do you know Allah loves it? Did He tell you personally? You guys get my point? Yes. So we can't come up with ibadah. Okay? We can't make it up. It has to be legislated, meaning legal, already written in the book. And that's why taqwa is on your body parts. Because you're doing what Allah said for you to do. How His Messenger exemplified it. Period, point blank. And if you do something different, you made that up. Okay, what are we saying? And the worst deeds are those things that we come up with ourselves, right? And I tell you, this means the hang-ups that we have. I'm not doing that. Why not? I don't think it's right. Who are you? How insignificant you are. You ain't even made an ant. Right? Or as Allah says, you ain't even made a fly. But in your own head, you think you have the right to legislate. It's me. I'm going to do what I want to do. Go ahead with your bad self. Right? See how far you go with that. But do you guys get my point? Yes. So the worst thing is not shaitan. The worst thing are the hang-ups that prevent us from obeying Allah. And meaning obey Allah with our body. With our physical activities. Because we think it ain't that serious. Or I don't got to do that. You tripping. And what's the worst, the thing that people go to the Jahannam for in the Quran as we go through the Tafseer is ghafla. Ghafla. I didn't think it was that bad. And that's what most people go to Jahannam for. Because they didn't take it serious. You guys get my point? So take it serious. You taking Allah short? وَمَا قَدْرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ. And they haven't given Allah His props. They haven't thought about Allah in His right way. And when you realize it's too late. It's already gone. Except those who believe, who make Taubah, they act righteously. فَإِنَّهُ يَتُوبُ إِلَى اللَّهِ مَتَابًا. Then that's the real Taubah. Because what happens when people, remember the example I said? The people who realize they're doing sin, they turn and they ask for a istighfar, and now they say, okay, it's now time for you to make Taubah, right? Allah says the real Taubah is you believe and you do righteous deeds, right? You start doing good. That's when we get into a problem. We say this istighfar, but we say, well, I'm not ready to get back on the stage. Don't we do that? Yes. I'm still going to sin, but I'm going to ask for istighfar again. Who are you playing with? You think you can play with Allah? يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَهُوَ خَادِعُهُمْ. They're playing games, they're trying to trick Allah, but He's tricking them. وَمَا يُخَادِعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ. And they don't even realize it. You get my point? Because the person says, oh, I know I got to seek a istighfar, but I'm not ready to give up this sin yet. We learned that in first grade fiqh, right? In first grade fiqh, we say that repentance will not be correct until I'm sad and feel regret for what I've done, and I intend not to do that sin again. And if still sinning, I must stop all sinful deeds right on the spot. And no, it's not allowed to say, I will repent maybe one day. For those who think like that will find a devil has possessed his mind. He plans to drop his soul in hell. Turn to Allah to break his spell. Say astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh 100 times in every day. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh is all the Muslim has to say. That's first grade fiqh. The children's book, or for the beginners. That we needle in there as an usul, the idea that you have to repent. Okay? I've sworn to do Allah's command and not to do one thing haram. But when I fail, I must repent before I get a punishment from up above Allah Most High before my soul is caused to die. You guys get my point? So that's why that poem, that book there is for that. Inshallah, we'll go over it. Inshallah, so we cover the basics of what we're supposed to understand about these issues. So that person, yatubu ilallahi mataba, he's the only one that really made tawbah. You get it? Not just the speaker, the one who did the actions and started to obey Allah again. Mataba. What time is he there?
No.
All right, well, hit it. You know, you don't need my permission. Then it says here, وَمَنْ تَابَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَإِنَّهُ يَتُوبُ إِلَى اللَّهِ مَتَابًا. Okay, whoever makes tawbah and does righteous deeds, then that's the one that's really made it tawbah. Okay? Then it says, وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَشْهَدُونَ الزُّورِ. And those who don't witness falsehood, those who are not witnesses, they're not going to stand for falsehood. وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَشْهَدُونَ الزُّورِ وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِاللَّغْوِ مَرُّوا كِرَامًا. And those, when they pass by foolishness, how do they pass by foolishness? With some dignity. With some dignity, some honor. They don't get ignorant and ugly. They pass it by with honor. They don't fall into that foolishness. Tafaddal ya Shaikh. You know, they pass by with some dignity and honor. The same way they say peace, and if they don't got to say nothing, they just pass through with honor. I'm going to keep going. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ لَمْ يَخِرُّوا عَلَيْهَا صُمًّا وَعُمْيَانًا.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Assalamu alaikum. We're going to finish it. We're going to finish in a few moments, inshallah ta'ala. Might turn it off. Whoever got it. This is yours? Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So now it says, وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَشْهَدُونَ الزُّورَ وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِاللَّغْوِ مَرُّوا. Oh, you guys sound dead. Come on. Come on, some honor here. Come on, you know. Marru. Karama. Right? It's like one day I fast and everybody. So they pass by with some dignity and some honor about themselves. Everybody follow me? Yes. Then it says, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ لَمْ يَخِرُّوا عَلَيْهَا. Okay, so what does this mean? This means Allah's Messenger ﷺ, he said that مَا مِنْ عَبْدٍ إِلَّا وَلَهُ. Then there is no slave of Allah except that he has a sin. Okay, this is the reality. Allah's Messenger is declaring this. Okay, and he says he does it فَيْنَةٍ بَعْدَ فَيْنَةٍ. Time after time he comes back to this same sin. Or لَمْ يُفَرِّقُهُ حَتَّى يُفَرِّقُ الدُّنْيَا. He never leaves this sin. Some people don't know, they do it all the time until he leaves the dunya. The fact is that people are created sinful and nisyan, forgetful. But إِذَا ذُكِرَ ذَكَرَ. When they're reminded, they remember. So this teaches us not to be sanctimonious. For those people who know, holier than thou, thinking that their stuff doesn't stink. Okay, the believer, what does that come from? He can walk with kings, but he doesn't lose his what? Common touch. You get my point? He doesn't forget he's human. So this is إِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ. When he's reminded of the ayat of Allah, لَمْ يُخِرُّوا عَلَيْهَا سُمًّا وَعُمْيًا. He don't pretend like he's deaf and blind, like he don't recognize. Oh, he's talking to me like that. How dare? Oh, you know, you're sinful with people, normal people. Does everybody get that? I can't hear you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, guys, today you got really low energy here, you know. Then it goes, وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. It says here, and this is a very important dua. Who is he making dua for? He says, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا. Give us a gift. Notice when children are talking about Allah, always mentions hab. There's a gift. هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا. From our husbands and wives, our spouses, and our offspring, our children. قُرَّةُ أَعْيُنٍ. Make them the apple of our eyes. Not the fitna, not a problem, you know. And make us, for those people who have taqwa, imam. So make us a good example, because the imam is called imam because he's amam an-nas. Okay? You get the point, guys? The imam is amam, meaning in front. So you can see him. That's one of your Arabic words. Amamak. Okay? فَهُوَ imam. So here, you make us put us in front because we lead from in front. Follow me. And you lead by example for your family. Everybody follow that? Yes. The reason is the opposite happens, that people curse their children and they curse their spouse. All the time. Giving each other the evil eye. The aim. And then we wonder what's wrong with this damn child. Well, number one, he's a damn child. Who damned him? The mother or the father. Is the dua for the parent accepted? Yes. Yes. You guys get my point? The same thing with husband and wife. Cursing each other. Okay? Wonder what's wrong with them. Why I can't do this? Why I can't do that? Why she can't do this? Because they're cursing each other. Holding each other. So Allah teaching us here. Make dua for them. Good dua for them. Make sense, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it says, Allah says, أُولَٰئِكَ يُجْزَوْنَ الْغُرْفَةَ بِمَا صَبَرُوا وَيُلَقَّوْنَ فِيهَا تَحِيَّةً وَسَلَامًا. He says, these are the ones. يُجْزَوْنَ, they're going to get the reward. Ghurfa, a room in Jannah. That's all we want, right? Just give me a room in Jannah. بِمَا صَبَرُوا, right? Because of their sabr. How many times does Allah mention sabr in the Quran? I told you guys. Allah, good answer. Over 90 times. Allah mentions sabr in the Quran over 90. Does it mean wait?
No.
It means what? Persevere. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu isbiru wasabiru warabitu. Persevere. Keep striving. Be ready. Don't quit. Give out, but don't give up. Does that make sense? Yeah. Victory or paradise. Die trying, like the man who killed 100 people. Right. Die trying. Wherever you're at in that route. Okay? بِمَا صَبَرُوا وَيُلَقَّوْنَ فِيهَا تَحِيَّةً وَسَلَامًا. And they will meet there the great, beautiful greetings and statements of peace. When they enter into Jannah, they're going to be greeted like rock stars, I say. You know? They're going to be required because when you're entering to Jannah, all the people that know you, that beat you there, they're going to be coming to greet you at Jannah when you come in. Ain't that happy? Your ancestors who made dua for you, look how many of us have become Islam without no big da'wah program going on due to the dua, the barakah of our ancestors. Right? Coming in and say, hey, man, I want to know what happened to you. Because when they get to Jannah, they're going to be asking. They're going to know these little Jannahs. Well, what happened? Did you have children? Oh, what about him? And they're going to be asking. So when you come through, salama, they'll be great to me. Ain't that a beautiful way to go into Jannah? You coming through and it's a ticker tape parade. Beautiful. Tahiyyatan wa salama, khalidina fiha, ever and ever. There's no end for that. Why? Because time is only existence because it's temporary world. So even the moment doesn't last. Hence, it's time. You get my point, guys?
Yes.
So there, time is dhubiha. Allah says
Continuous.
Well, no, here in the hereafter, Allah calls time up and then slaughters them. Time don't exist no more. The believers are happy when they see that. What happens to the people in Jahannam? They saddened by that. It don't exist no more. Hasunat mustaqarran wa muqama. This is the opposite of ساءت مستقرا. إن عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان كراما. إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما. هذا حسنت مستقرا ومقاما. It's a beautiful place to be, an excellent place to be. قل ما يعبأ بكم ربي لولا دعاؤكم. What would Allah have to do with you if it wasn't for you? He don't need you if you don't make dua to him. You don't get my point? وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. وفي القرآن مخه الدعاء. Right? وفي الحديث مخه الدعاء. And in the hadith, the best of it is dua. It's dua, asking Allah and doing that. So it says, Allah says in the Quran, because the hadith is actually weak, but the meaning is authentic. What does Allah need for you if it wasn't for your dua? If you don't call on Him, if you're not worshiping Allah, because that's what they understand, La ilaha illallah, you only call on Allah. You get my point? It says, وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَدُعُونَ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرَ. Right? Those who don't call on anyone but Allah. What Allah? He don't need you if you don't make dua, if you don't worship Allah. Right? Because you lying otherwise. You deny, you kadabtum that you're believers. You're actually perpetrating a fraud. And it will soon be obligatory upon you, your lie and all these things like that if you don't act right. Does that make sense? The iqam is on the imam. The iqam is on the imam. I'm not talking to you, Dr. Alone. I'm just saying to everybody, the iqam is on the imam. Not on me, it's on the imam.
You got one more verse, right?
No, that's it. فَقَدْ كَذَبْتُمْ فَسَوْفَ يَكُونُ لِزَامًا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.